So hi guys and welcome to another edition of Burton Borders, and the World Cup is finally over. What a great World Cup it's been, and congratulations to Argentina and Messi, especially Messi in winning his first ever World Cup. And so I'm going to be talking about Messi because a lot of people, because Messi's won this now, are calling him the GOAT, which is the greatest of all time. So I'm going to be having a different opinion, so find out more.
Welcome to the Burton Borders. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
Probably the best World Cup final I've ever seen, and after all the stick of Qatar, they put on a great tournament. Some shocks in there as well, some great matches and some intrigue, and the final just didn't disappoint either. Argentina 2-0 up and thought they had the game done and dusted. Then along comes Mbappe, two fantastic goals, and in extra time Argentina score again. Game over. Nope, Mbappe. But France should have and could have won it at the death. And good save by Martinez at the end, and it went down to penalties. When it went down to penalties, I called it. I said to my family, this is Argentina's. This is written in the stars for Messi to win this. And as I thought, that's how it happened. Two terrible penalties by France. Argentina took their chances, and they are now the world champions for the third time. So this younger generation and some older people as well saying, yeah, he's now confirmed as the GOAT of football. He's confirmed himself as the best of his generation. Mbappe, you know what? I think if he carries on and he has that longevity, then you know what? A lot of people may be having a different opinion, because what we saw today, Mbappe stole the show. Messi scored 2 goals, but won a penalty. And a lot of the times in this tournament, he scored quite a few penalties. I think he's only scored, 3 goals which have not been penalties. But Mbappe today showed his quality. Okay, Mbappe, I might be contradicting myself because he scored 2 pens, but that goal he scored, that second goal was sublime, and he came alive in the last 20 minutes of the game. Messi, I've got to say, he did carry his team, and I'm giving him credit for that because he carried his team. They had a bad start losing to Saudi Arabia, and then it was, Messi sort of dragged the team from the scruff of the neck. He scored some vital goals, some vital assists when it mattered. So he did prove his worth. And so I'm saying, well done, Messi, because that's what I've been calling out for him to do, to win a big tournament. Now he's done that, and B, not only to win a tournament, but to be instrumental in his side winning that trophy, which he has done. So, for that, as I said, I give him a great plaudits for doing that. But saying greatest of all time is, for me, everyone just looks at the immediacy, what's going on at the moment, because they don't remember things in the past or anything else. So for me, I'm not saying that he's not the greatest of all time. It could be, but you can't compare generations to generations. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Because if you look at Maradona and Pele's era, I wasn't old enough to, old enough to see Pele play week in, week out. When I came along, Pele had, was just coming up to the end of his career, and he, all I could see was what he done in highlights, and what I saw of what he done in the highlights was fantastic. So I can't compare how Pele was to Messi, because obviously you're just seeing snippets of him. You're not seeing him week in, week out. On the other hand, I saw Maradona. I grew up in the Maradona era, and this guy was fantastic for me. And so what I'm saying is, if you have a time tunnel and you pull Messi back into the Maradona days, would his numbers be as high as they are now? I don't think so. Because what we had back in Maradona's day is we had pitches which, today we've got bowling green pitches. The pitches are perfect for skillful players. Anytime Messi's played on a pitch which isn't perfect for him, he struggles. I've seen him play in Champions League matches, La Liga and things, where the pitch, the ball's bobbling a bit and everything else. And he's not the same Messi. Maradona, Pele, they had to play on these pitches week in, week out. Muddy pitches and with lots of holes in there, bobbling up all the time. And so for them to have that great control and composure on some of the pitches that they had to play on, it takes a lot of skill. You know, Messi, as I said, hasn't had that obstacle. He hasn't had that in front of him. All the pitches now, pristine, perfect pitches. Other thing what Messi's never had is, you know, those days you had kickers there. You weren't protected as much as you are now. You know, anyone has to watch just watch the Leeds Chelsea FA Cup final 1970, and you'll see A, the pitch that they played on that day, B, the tackles which went unpunished because the referees let a lot go back then, and Maradona was kicked from pillar to post. Pele was kicked from pillar to post. These guys got up and they took their kicks, they took their beatings, but they still showed a lot of grit, determination and skill and to succeed in those days. So the balls, another thing. You know, you look at the balls that especially Pele had to play with, these big, heavy, rock-hard balls. Didn't do a lot. When you kick the ball, it didn't curl one way, swerve the other way. These balls now that they make, you know, that it's harder for the keeper. I've played in goal before, so I know sometimes you've got that late movement. You're sort of in front of the, you think you've got the ball covered and then it's got that late swerve. And back in the day, we didn't have that, you know. Look, those balls were those laced up balls and everything else. Didn't have move as much as they do now. And you know, Maradona's goal, the balls that they had those days, they weren't, you know, as good as they are today in favour of the attack inside. So, you know, you weigh all those things up, as I said, all those things added up together, then it's hard to compare one generation to another generation. You know, Messi's numbers are good, Pele's numbers were good, but some people will say about Pele, he played most of his games in New York Cosmos and Santos in Brazil or whatever, but still had some good numbers. And the other thing for me with Maradona, he took an average side in Napoli and he won titles. I think it's 2 titles he won with them. And he's coming up against some of the best elite teams from, remember AC Milan's teams back then, and that's when Serie A was the top league in you know, it was better than the Premier League, better than La Liga, everything. And he was at, you know, the height of Italian football when they were dominating in Europe as well. Messi came along and single-handedly took Napoli to the top. Maradona has had great players around him all the way. You know, he's had your he had Ronaldinho to start off with. Then you've had your Xavis, your Iniestas, your Pujols. So he's had some great players. He's been playing in one of the best teams in the, you know, Barcelona and Real Madrid are the 2 best teams in La Liga. So he's had the best teams, one of the best 2 teams in La Liga, and he's had one of the best teams in, he's got the best team in France as well. So those are the 2 teams he's played for. So everything is ideal for him to you know, not to fail. Everything's set up for him. So Maradona, as I said, he had that task of going to a side, you know, and he took he took that challenge on to play for them and, you know, transformed them. He transformed the Argentina that won with Maradona was arguably worse than the Argentina that Messi won with today. So again, I think Maradona kind of carried that team. Yeah, Messi carried his team to an extent this time, but Maradona had to carry his team too. So, you know, I said greatest of his generation for now, but to call him the GOAT, I don't think it's fair to be able to call somebody the GOAT. And I said, you can't compare generation to generation. So what do you think, guys? Do you think I'm talking sense, or give me your reasons why you think, if you think he is a GOAT, give me your reasons why. Give me your arguments for why you think he's a GOAT. So let me know, because I'll be intrigued to know what you think. As I said, very well maybe, but, you know, we put a Maradona in this era now. Would he be bringing up the same numbers as Messi and having the same sort of impact? I think so, yeah. Longevity for Messi as well, that's the other thing. He looks after himself. Maradona, you know, he back in the day, they weren't as professional as well. Had he looked, you know, if the professionalism was in there now and he looked after himself, his diet and everything else, then you could see big numbers from Maradona as well. even George Best. George Best is a great example. I think he was as talented, skillfully as talented as Messi. But with Georgie Best used to play the game for fun, go out and drink, and he retired at 26, wasted career. And obviously because he played for Northern Ireland. But if you look at some of Georgie Best's skills, it's up there with Messi skill wise. But for professionalism and longevity, then you've got to put Messi up above Best here. But as I said, if he had looked after himself, then he'll be in this conversation as well. So guys, let me know your thoughts, as I said before, and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time I make a new video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.